If you're not always sure what to post on social media, it's so frustrating for you to execute content efficiently, and you're not sure how to attract the perfect audience, I have an easy solution for you. Today, I'm talking about content pillars and how you can use them to quickly plan posts that resonate with your audience. Ready? Let's do this. Hi my lovely humans, it's Natalia and welcome back to my channel where I share super actionable ideas on content creation for entrepreneurs and creatives. And today I'll be sharing with you a great tactic to always know what to post, to serve your audience to the fullest, and to make your content creation process a breeze. We're talking about content pillars. You might have heard of this term before because it's a bit of a marketing buzzword these days, but if not, don't worry, I'm here to explain exactly what they are, why they're important, how to identify them, and how to use them strategically to up your content game. Let's do this. Number one, what are content pillars? So people call content pillars so many different things. They're called content categories, content buckets, and content pillars, of course, but essentially they mean the same thing. There are the specific subjects that define your business and that resonate with your audience. And your content pillars should be clearly defined. They should focus around your business and what you offer and signal to your audience what you're all about. Now, let me tell you why they're important to have. So number two, why are they important? First of all, they make your life easier, which I'll explain later on when I talk about how to use them in your content creation, so make sure to watch this video till the very end. And secondly, with content pillars, you can easily diversify your content so it doesn't feel repetitive or boring to your audience. And plus, you can touch on all the different sides of your business in your content so nothing gets left out. And my favorite reason why you should use content pillars in your marketing is because they really help you identify your niche and differentiate you from the crowd. And with these different categories, you stay on point and discuss all the crucial subjects your audience is interested in, and you are serving them in a way that's unique to who you are and what your business does. And at the end of the day, by identifying your content pillars, your followers know exactly what they can expect from you, and your content is no longer all over the place. And finally, they're a great way to make sure you always have something to talk about and rarely run out of ideas. And again, you'll see very clearly why that is later on. 3, how to identify them. In short, you do it by thinking about your business in the context of your audience. So start with the general category your business or brand sits at and all the different things you offer. So what's the overarching theme? What are all the various sides of your business? Then think about what parts are forming that big subject. For example, if you're a personal trainer, your main focus will be health and fitness. But that's a very broad subject, of course, and there are so many things you could be talking about there. Starting with the obvious, you could talk about exercise and nutrition, and then you'll have various options depending on what you specialize in, what your personal focus is set on, and what kind of a client you want to attract. And this could be motivation, building muscles, and achieving goals, for example, for people who want to feel powerful and fuel their daily lives through exercise. Or it could be weight loss, health psychology for those who want to reduce their body mass. For people who want to find balance and heal themselves, you could talk about mental health and mindfulness. And if you're a physical therapist as well as a personal trainer, you can include subjects like injuries, rehab, and recovery. And of course, your business may have different nuances to it, and it's best to tie it all in with what you offer. So for example, if you do nutrition plans, it's important to talk about nutrition in your content. You might have noticed I mentioned focusing on what kind of client you want to attract there. This should be outlined in your overall content marketing strategy, and if you don't have one, you need to check out this video here. And speaking to the right people is crucial because that's the only way you can get actual results with what you put out there. So analyze your audience and make sure you know what interests them and what pain points bother them so that you can be the one to alleviate them with your content. And if you only approach your content by thinking about the multiple sides of your business, you risk hearing crickets on a daily basis. So only by creating pillars that resonate with your audience can you really provide value, which in my opinion is what drives businesses forward. And if you're already creating content, you can use that to your benefit and check your analytics to see what content subjects perform best. And this can be a great indication as to what your audience enjoys the most. And you can also ask them. If you have a few ideas for content pillars, you can post these as this or that poll on your Instagram stories, for example. Now, before we move on, let's talk about how many content pillars you need. Well, Well, here's where the opinions really differ, and there are so many approaches. Some people advise having 3 to 6, while others preach about identifying as many as you can. And with the minimalistic approach, your content is very focused and your online presence seems a bit more niche down, which can arguably help you target the best people. When your platform of choice is Instagram, some marketers say 9 to 12 is a great option because they correlate with your feed grid. So basically, when a person visits your profile, they tend to glance at your latest 9 to 12 posts, and your content pillars could be represented through the images you choose to post. And I tend to say around 6 pillars is enough to make you really focused, but ultimately the decision is your own and will depend on what your business is about. Make sense? Great. Let's move on to how you can put your pillars to good use. Number 4, how you can use them. Now that you have your content pillars identified, your life is about to become so much easier. They're pretty much a gateway to create content efficiently and consistently. And what you want to do next is to lay them all out in columns on a piece of paper or in a digital tool. And now is the time to think of 10 to 15 different ideas for each of the pillars that you could be discussing in your post. And sticking to the personal trainer example from before, you could have exercise, so proper form for squats, best exercise to target your delts, good stretches to do post-workout, my recent workout, or a full body workout versus split training. And now that you have all those different ideas, think about how often you want to post. So let's say for this business, I'd like to post 5 times per week. I can simply allocate each day for each content pillars, and that makes the process almost effortless. And by the way, this is how you can decide how many content pillars you need as well. If you're posting every day, simply identify 7 different content pillars and your weekly content plan is set. And for this one, we can talk about motivation on Monday, exercise on Tuesday, leaving out Wednesdays, let's go for nutrition on Thursday, mindfulness on Friday, skipping Saturdays, and weight loss on Sunday. Get a weekly spread in front of you and choose what schedule works for you best. And then it's only one step away from a fully fleshed out content calendar. So simply allocate your different ideas from each pillar that we brainstormed earlier, and voila, your content plan is ready. This way you can create posts in advance and schedule them, which frees up all that time for you to focus on your business. And make sure you have a day set out for yourself to always add ideas to your content pillars and plan content in intervals. Now tell me, what content pillars have you identified for your business? Let me know in the comments below what they are and how you're going to use them in your marketing. I have a video all about how I set up my content calendar, so you can watch it next. And by the way, my platform of choice is Notion, but I share the whole process, which is universal. So whether you want to use a pen and paper version, a physical planner, or a digital tool like Google Sheets or Trello, it's still going to be very useful to you. If you're not sure how to identify what your audience wants to hear about, check out my content strategy video where I explain in detail how to build an effective one yourself. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and if you're a fan of the content pillar strategy, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.